Well, hello to everyone. It's another Saturday in my shed. I'm BC. We'll put on a bit of a presentation on cutters today. I've been asked by a couple of viewers to get a better close-up on grinding annular cutters. If I can, I'll try. I don't know whether my camera will do a fantastic macro. And we've got some end mills to grind for in the shop and one to shorten. So I'll bring you in as close as I can from the other side and we'll have a look at the tools we're going to grind. Okay, here's the cutters in question. Didn't put my ugly mush in because I just can't get it good enough on macro shots. And this is a cutter I have ground previously, and I can show you exactly what happens when you don't dress the wheel or when the facets are just too long and you can't get in behind them. You can see on the heel of the land here, the area just kicks up. Now, I sent the cutter out like that because it's not enough to interfere, but if the wheel is really worn, this heel can kick up and cause you grief. It starts to rub on the work. It's a bit of a compromise. It's very hard to get in, and quite often when I gullet the cutters, I grind this back part of the land off. So I make the gullet a fair bit wider with the gulleting wheel. A little bit of a cheat, but sometimes it's all you can do. And another thing you can do is put the tooth a little bit above centre, and that allows you to get a little bit further in before you start interfering with the preceding tooth. So we'll get onto that on the tool and cutter grinder later on. Here's some end mills I'll be grinding. I was trying to teach a fella to do tool and cutter grinding a few months ago, and he gave it a positive dish instead of a negative dish, and that's one that was chattering like hell when I was trying to mill the axle box horns. Another cutter we'll be looking at is this extra long deep access cutter. I was trying to use that on the axle box horns and it was vibrating like hell, so I'm going to take about 1.5 inches off the shank. I have absolutely no use for extra long cutters at the moment, but I do have some more in stock. So if I do have a use, I'll just take one off the shelf. And we'll see what this material is like to take off with the cut-off wheel. It's a very, very hard cutter. I know the grinding the working end of these cutters is difficult. I did one here a couple of weeks ago and oh boy, it's not just 8% cobalt, there's something else in there. So we'll get on with the job. First we'll do the annular cutter, and then I think we'll do the cut off here and then the end mills. Back soon. Back again. Now I've turned off the halogen light for this shot. I'll try and give you a bit of a spiel about dressing the wheel. You can see by the marking on the wheel surface that the outer side of the wheel has been used and it has worn away a little bit, and that makes it difficult to get in behind the gullet of the cutter. But I'll start the grinder up. You can only dress very, very small amounts at a time on this machine or it chatters like hell. But we'll see if we can get a better looking face on it. Now the wheel is turning in a clockwise direction, so the diamond dresser is in a trailing position. If you're in a leading position, it'll really give you a hard time with counting. And I'm only trying to feed in a couple of hundredths of a millimetre at a time. I'm not interested in a nice open surface, just a flat surface. And I would say that's pretty well good enough. You can hear there that it's touching the diamond right out at the edge of the wheel at the periphery, so I'll call that dressed. Hello again, here we have a video coming in from the left hand side of the cutter. You can see the tooth is just above centre that's going to be ground. The rear edge of the cut-off wheel must go far enough in behind the edge to grind that little facet that I showed you earlier. So one of the guys wanted a vertical shot, so I'll try and get the camera around the back, but it's not too easy without it being blotted out by the wheel guard. So we won't put power on yet. I'll make another shot. This is a bit magnified out of size. You can see the tooth passing in front of the curve of the flared cup wheel. That's about the best focus I can get with this camera. I'll try and come out a little bit. You can see the right hand side of that wheel has to go far enough behind the tooth to stop the heel of the land protruding. Now I'll put a bit of a grind on that and we can see what the cut is like when it's finished. Hello again, and we're on to another job. This is where I cut off that extra long series cutter to see if I can reduce the shuttering as we mill the axle box horns. So I'll give this cut-off wheel another try. Go all the way around real flat. Very short sparks coming off. Just taking a fair at a time. I'm just making sure that all was tight enough there. I just get the jitters when I'm doing this operation, but it was all good. off as long as that's in the fall over. Well, I brought you back on to see if the cutter's ready to come off. This will be interesting. Yes, and I thought so. Didn't want to have it drop on the floor because with my luck it would drop down on the cutting edge and be broken. This is what you get from an engineering cut-off wheel. Quite a good surface. I could have ground all the way through, but as I said, it would have fallen off unpredictably. So I'll just deburr this on the bench grinder now, and we'll try it later on in the milling machine.